Let us now take our discussion to the next level and check out what do we mean by the life cycle of a JavaFX application. Now, whenever we create any application, it has its own life cycle. As for example, anything in the universe has a life cycle, that is a certain time of existence. We humans also have a life cycle. We take birth, perform function, and then finally we die. Similarly, when you start an application, we actually perform some function with the help of all these buttons, and then finally we shut down our application. That is, it dies. And here you can notice process finished with exit code of 0. Now during the start of the application and shutting the application down, there exist few methods that will help us to know in which phase our application actually exists. So for that, we have the lifecycle methods for the JavaFX application. Now the first method for the JavaFX application that is executed is known as the init. So right here, type init and there you will find this method. Simply select it and the IntelliJ IDE will simply override the method for you. When we shut down the application, there exists one method that is executed, and that method is known as stop. So simply select this stop method and here the code is in front of you. Now, in what sequence all these methods are actually executed? So for that, let us write our print statement in each of these methods. So let us type init and within the start, let us type start, and then within the stop method, let us type stop here. And now let us launch our application. And within the output console, let us keep a track. So here, as soon as our application started, if you notice within the output console, first the init method was executed and then the start method. Now, what will happen if I close the application? And there we go, the stop method was finally executed. Now these methods hold some significance. Now the init method simply creates the instance of your application. That is, it simply creates your application. And then comes the start method, whose main purpose to start the application and make it visible to the user by calling primary stage.show. So when this statement is executed, it simply makes your application visible to the user. And then comes the stop method. And this method is called when the application is basically stopped. That is, it is no longer functional in nature. And right after it is called, it will shortly shut down, like we saw in our application. And now the question arises, what about the main method? Now when we launch our application with the help of command line, this method main is basically executed. So let us try this out as well when this main method is executed. So let us now launch our application. And here again, if you notice, first the main method was executed, then init, then start. If I shut down my application, then the stop method will be executed. But the main method is not a part of the lifecycle methods of JavaFX application. It is only the init method, start method, and the stop method that are part of the JavaFX lifecycle. Well, there are a lot more things that I can discuss it here. But since we are beginners, so we don't have to go deeper into those sections. For the time being, this much information is sufficient for us.